All right, what is up, you beautiful people, and welcome to something new that my buddy and I have decided to create, a conversation series. We don't even have a name for this podcast right now, but if this is something you guys like and enjoy, the content you like, it makes you watch until the end, let us know in the comment section down below. Hit that like button and share this to a friend in the sake of making friends. If you're anything like me, you've probably found it hard to meet people after graduating from like university or college or the likes. If you're in high school, you probably can't relate to this, but I'd say this is something to look out for on the horizon. Like, a lot of people go through this. For all you guys who are listening right now, who know me from high school, IRL, like in real life, look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, y'all kind of dropped off. No offense, guys, but if you're anything like me, like, you feel like you can't relate to your old friends anymore. Like, maybe you guys just no longer share the same hobbies or interests or life goals anymore, and that makes you feel lonely. And COVID definitely didn't help that either. Look, I used to be 230 pounds. Like, I was humongous. Like, catch me in them XL size clothes. Like, it was not a good look. I mean, like, look at this. But now I look like this, right? Massive transformation. Like, because of this self-image, I've struggled at meeting new people. Because in my head, I still see myself as a fat kid. Like, 1 year ago, I started rock climbing as a casual hobby. If y'all have already subscribed to me, you'll know about this, but at first it was just a way for me to have like some kind of social interaction, like especially like post-COVID, and it helped me keep in touch with my friends from Teachers College. But to be honest, for about a month, like not a month, 10 months, I struggled to meet or even like approach other climbers at the gym. I just went in, climbed, and then got out. And then like about like a month and a bit more ago, almost 2 months now, I'd say, everything like just changed, like massively changed for the better after I met my buddy Ed, who's here with us now. I met my climbing group like step by step. Like, I met like 4 people at first, and then like a few more people, and then eventually gradually brought me into like the whole big group, and now we just all climb together, and it's amazing. But this guy Ed, he met us all at the same time, and within 20 minutes he became an integral part of the group. Phenomenal. Ed, you want to introduce yourself?
Thanks, man, for those kind words. Like, I'm a little embarrassed, honestly, because I don't know. I don't think I'm like particularly gifted at that or whatever. But yeah, no, like, thanks a lot for saying that, man. So yeah, my name's Ed. I'm a photographer, also in Toronto, Canada. And yeah, like, I don't know, like, my personal ethos has always just been, like like that quote, that I've heard a lot. A stranger is just a friend that you haven't met yet, right? So, like, the way I've always looked at things is, above all, I try to make an impression on people. Like, a lot of people forget people's names after they meet each other. They say hi, and then, once they go home, they forget about that person and they never see them again, right? So, like, yeah, like my goal has always just been to, I don't know, build rapport quickly. So they remember you. I don't necessarily care if they like me. I just want them to remember me, right? So that then the next time I see them again, like, we can pick off where we left off, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I've literally known Ivan, I think, for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And we just I don't know. We just hit it off. Yeah, and like, we're here now. We're doing this crazy thing. Hope it works. But yeah, like, I guess we're just here to talk about, like, making friends, the art of conversation, building rapport, how to, my own experience with how to do it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so actually let's talk a bit about that. So I just want to know, like what makes you this way? Like what drives you? Like, were you always like this social?
You know what? I think it's not the social thing, but I think I was born with this curiosity. I think when you build connections with people like that, you can't fake that. It has to be sincere. Like, I'm genuinely curious about everybody. I feel like everybody has this potential to be useful to you. Like, not that I think about people as a transactional thing. Like, I certainly don't look for people who can just help me or whatever, but yeah, like, everybody can be interesting. Everybody has something cool to say. You just gotta get to know them. Like, the sincerity of my curiosity, I think, helps me in that regard. I don't think I can fake that. I see everybody like an onion, you know, with all these layers to peel. And yeah, like I think that's just it. Like I think that's what separates me from everybody else. It's just this genuine curiosity, and I guess I'm born with it.
Yeah, like I mean, I can attest to that because like even for myself, when I try to get to know people, I think sometimes it's hard. Like if I don't initially find someone interesting, I'm just like I lose my curiosity. But like that's really cool that you have that, Ed. Yeah. So like I don't know. Do you think you could like demonstrate like a little deep question you'd use to get to know someone? Because like I know like I've seen it in action, but I don't think anyone listening to this has heard of it in action. Right. So like let's show everyone what it's all about.
Okay. So there's this game that I learned in my 20s called The Cube. I think I first learned about it from this guy named Neil Strauss. From what I remember, it's this old like Mesopotamian like fortune telling cold reading thing, okay? But basically it goes like this. So I'm going to ask you, Ivan, to like imagine a desert scene.
All right, I'm imagining a desert.
So like, you know, it can be like a painting, it can be a photograph or whatever, but I just want you to picture like an empty desert, okay?
Okay. Has to be empty? Like nothing in it.
Yeah, so hold on. So like I'm going to ask you successive questions, right? So first of all, I want you to place a cube somewhere in the scene. Pay attention to what it's made of, how close it is to the foreground, how close it is to the, you know, where it is. Is it in the center? Is it at the top of the frame, bottom of the frame?
Okay. Like
what is it made of?
Should I tell you?
No. Don't tell me yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the second thing is I want you to put a ladder somewhere in the scene. Okay. So the ladder could be anywhere. It could be literally lying on the cube. It can be on the floor. It can be hovering in midair. Whatever. Right.
Got it.
The cube. Sorry. Don't forget. Like picture what it's made of as well. That's important.
The ladder. Okay.
Yeah. Third thing. Okay. I want you to place a horse in the scene.
A horse.
Yeah, okay. It can be facing us. It can be looking away. It can be in the back. It can be in the front ground again.
All right.
Okay.
I got my horse down. Yeah.
Okay. I think the next one is now there's a storm. Okay. It could be coming. It could be going. It could be midway. Like it could be thunder, lightning, whatever. I want you to imagine a storm in the scene.
Okay.
Done?
Storm. Yeah, I see it.
Okay, and then finally, I want you to place foliage in your desert. You know, flowers. It can be one flower. It can be multiple. It can be like cactuses, whatever.
Okay. All right, I got the foliage down too.
All right, so let's break it down. Okay, so yeah, first of all, describe to me what your cube is.
Okay, so my cube is this like I would say it's like this massive structure. It almost looks like the pyramids, except they built a cube.
Okay.
It's made of like this shiny alloy, like I'd say platinum. It's completely made of platinum.
Okay.
Right. So it's like this silver structure in the middle of the desert, and it's like reflecting all the light, and it just shines. Yeah. And then ladder next.
Yeah, ladder.
So I have like a little like wooden ladder that you'd like probably see in antiquity, and it's like placed on the cube, and it goes from the ground all the way up to the top of the cube.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's like a horse that's like standing next to the cube. So the ladder's on like the left side of the cube if you're looking at it. Okay. And there's a horse on the right side, and it's just like your average horse. It's like a brown horse. That's it. It's just hanging out. That's all it's doing.
Is it looking at us? Is it looking at the cube? Like where's the horse facing?
I guess you can say it's looking at us.
Okay.
It's like it's got its face like, because I have the cube imagined like it's kind of diagonally facing us. So you can see the faces, like it splits apart.
Like 3/4.
Yeah, 3/4 kind of thing. And so the horse is like aligned along like the diagonal side, looking kind of to the left of us in a sense. Like one of its eyes is looking at the cube. One of its eyes is looking out towards the desert where we'd be standing.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. And the storm actually is like, I couldn't really imagine a big storm. Like I tried and I was like, nah. The only storm I could imagine was like this tiny little storm at the top of the cube. It was kind of like
oh, interesting.
like a cartoon like cloud almost, like a tiny little cartoon cloud.
Interesting.
Yeah. And when you asked me to place foliage, like the desert stopped becoming a desert. It just became like like this grassland, not a grassland, but it was like a land filled with these plants with big leaves, like flowering leaves.
That's sick.
On the ground.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to break it down for me? Like what do you think?
Yeah.
I've never
All
done
right.
this game before, so I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's
yeah.
really cool. Okay, so the cube is supposed to represent your self-image.
Oh.
The fact that it's like this huge towering pyramid thing tells me that you almost have like an inflated ego,
Okay.
or like a very strong like sense of self.
Okay.
You're in the foreground in your life perception of yourself, and like you said, it's almost shiny like platinum, right?
Yeah.
So like that to me like tells me like what kind of image you want to project to other people. You know what I mean? Like like you want to show people like hey, I want to draw attention to myself kind of thing.
Okay.
So like for me, when I did it, my cube was like obsidian black.
Oh.
Because I think I don't want necessarily people to like see inside.
Okay. See,
And
we are
so-
complimentary like that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? So
Yeah.
so the cube, like the material is kind of like what it's made of is supposed to represent like what you want to show people, like your first impression that you want to give off. And then how big it is supposed to represent like your self-esteem.
Okay.
So I'd say you have a very healthy self-esteem, almost to the point where it's like maybe bordering on
maybe dangerous.
yeah, like overinflated ego, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
the ladder is supposed to represent like your connection to your family.
Oh.
So I think you mentioned that like you're an only child,
Yeah.
and I think you feel, you know, like the ladder's supposed to, you know, the fact that it's lying or against your cube shows me that like the family you are close to, you're very close to. Like you have a very good relationship. You know, the fact that they're physically touching and the fact that they lean on each other, you know, means like you depend on them, they depend on you. There's a trust, right?
Yeah.
Some people I've talked to like their ladder's just on the ground, and when I actually ask them further, they're like, yeah, like I'm not really close with my family and all that stuff. So that's really cool. The horse is to represent your love life.
Okay, it makes sense. It doesn't exist right now.
But it's interesting. So like you said the horse was on the opposite side of the ladder, and that it's kind of looking at you, but kind of looking at us. But it is in the foreground, right? Like
Yeah. It's in front of the cube.
yeah. So maybe like that's what you hope for. You know, like an equal kind of relationship as you have with your family.
Okay.
There's like the importance that you see yourself with this hypothetical partner. You know, the fact that it's looking at you might be a sign of like, you know, like you want this loyalty with your partner and all that stuff.
100%.
Okay, the storm is to represent like anxiety with your job, with your career.
Okay.
The fact that there's like this little tiny cartoon cloud over your pyramid of cubes, that's interesting to me. I don't know what to make of that, but like maybe like you don't really feel any real anxiety toward your job.
I think
maybe it means you're not like focusing too much on your 9 to 5. Maybe yeah.
I think here, can I step in for that?
Yeah, for sure.
I would say it's a bit of both, because here in Ontario, if you're a French teacher, everybody wants you. So even if I lose my position currently, I'm probably gonna get something somewhere else. Which is why there's a little cloud. And I got my fingers in a bunch of pies on the side. Like I'm tutoring on the side. I got YouTube. We're starting this now with Ed. Like you know, so like I'm trying to do the most I can to eventually not have the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know? So that's why I'm like small little cloud.
So that small little cloud, is that accurate, you think?
I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, so like
I tried seeing the big cloud, and it just disappeared. I couldn't.
So most people actually picture like dark gray clouds in the distance, kind of like thundering in the distance.
Yeah.
And that makes sense because usually when I ask this question, it was like back in my early 20s and I hadn't graduated yet.
Yeah, and everyone's struggling.
So like a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, what am I going to do?" And
and
it made sense, right? Okay, sorry, the last question. Oh yeah, foliage. So foliage is supposed to represent your expectation of children.
Oh.
The fact that you have like your whole desert changed into like this green scape, I think means that like through and through, like you want family. I think that's important to you.
Yeah.
Some people have asked, like, all they saw was like a single cactus kind of like withering. And like those people also tend to not really care about wanting to have children and all that stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Do you think that's accurate?
I think that's accurate. I think like for me, I was like, if I have kids, I want to have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a certain dynamic to like having a bigger family. You feel like less alone at home.
Yeah.
Because like I'm an only child, right? I think Ed can relate because he's also an only child as well.
Me too. Yeah.
And like sometimes I just like wish it's like, you know, like if you have siblings, I understand like probably you might have had episodes where like you just guys don't get along, but like you're okay afterwards for the most part, unless it's like something real serious.
Yeah.
Right. But like I feel like siblings, it's just like because there will be a day when your parents are gone, but like your siblings could still be there, like as family for you.
I thought about that a lot as a kid too.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking right now, like my parents are old. Like if they pass on, like it's just me in this world and like whoever I find as my partner, right?
Yeah,
and that's a lot. Like my, I don't know. My parents have siblings too, and they might not have the best relationship with each other, but when it comes down to it, like they still look out for each other, right? And yeah, I think that's why like I think it's important for me. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What did you see, Ed, by the way, when you did this?
Okay, so it's been a while since I've done it.
I think it changes.
So I think I had like this obsidian black cube. It was just hovering in the sky. I also had a ladder connected to my cube because I do feel like I have a good healthy relationship with my parents. My horse was like drinking in a stream, like looking right at me.
Okay. I would say that's like it's like drinking into like because like water represents like emotions, so, like it's drinking. Maybe like the love life is like flowing. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. When I first did this, I think I was 22. So yeah.
Okay.
I also saw like thunderclouds in the distance, like you know, like thunder and lightning far away, but
like the uncertainty, right?
Like you still can't hear it yet. Yeah. And yeah, like you, I had like a full blossom of flowers.
Oh,
like those nature documentaries, you know, where there's like a flash rainfall and then the whole desert just transforms in like 24 hours,
just
and
like
it's all flowers. Just like that. So yeah, but I mean, like, I don't consider myself like an astrology guy.
Yeah.
So like I feel like this game is just fun, but it kind of demonstrates the power of cold reading. Because I think this game's really fun and it's kind of left to your own interpretation.
Exactly. And you can see like everyone would like to get involved in this, right?
Exactly.
Like you tell us like maybe even like a group of people, they'd be like, okay, I'm imagining, like, I'm seeing
exactly
this. They'd be like, yo, you saw that? That's cool. Like that's so different from what I saw.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it speaks to people because in many ways it's true. You know?
Yeah.
I think it takes advantage of I'm a bit of a nerd on this stuff. It's like our little like archetypes. We have like these sort of like
totally
unconscious archetypes that we all share.
The idea of like your identity, your self-identity, what you think you are and how you project yourself to the world, right? Okay. But yeah, like so, you know, for example, like the cube isn't really something that I think is a science or like that I even believe in it, but it gets results, man.
Yeah, it's
like, everybody likes this shit, and it's fun, and you don't have to take it too seriously. And then like okay, like for example, if you pull this shit out on like a first date, like you're guaranteed to at least be memorable.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, these are things that I like picked up just, you know, throughout my life, and I remember these little games because they're just fun.
Yeah.
And they stand out. Yeah,
and like I mean, if you guys can relate to me, I'm a pretty boring guy when it comes down to having conversations with other people, and I am definitely gonna try out this cube thing on the next date I go on. It kills. Yeah, because I think like it's genuinely very eye opening to like see like this sort of curiosity. Because for myself, I find that I'm not as curious as I could be, and like in a way, it's like I'm learning from Ed here. This mega curiosity.
So like one thing that I've realized too. So like I'm a professional photographer. I specialize in weddings and events, right? And yeah, for 12 years now. And a lot of people come up and ask me like the same questions, like, hey, like what camera do you use? what kind of lens is that, right? But like every time I get asked this question, like I feel like they don't really care. They're just trying to make small talk because they're like, they're trying to be polite or whatever, or like they're nervous and they don't really know what to ask, but they're still curious about me. But like the reason I feel like these questions are not good questions is because, okay, so I answer you, right? So, okay, like I use a Canon. I have a 24-70 millimeter lens. Like, so what? Now that I've asked that, you're just like, usually people just say, "Oh, cool," and then they walk away.
Yeah, it's like they don't elicit deeper like conversation.
They're asking just to say something.
Yeah,
it's almost like, on an extreme example, it's almost like asking like an Asian guy, like, "Hey, I like anime," or like, "Hey, I like ramen," to a Japanese person. Like, I think for Asians especially, like that can come off as offensive, but like when you really think about it, it's not offensive. It's just they don't know what else to say.
Yeah. And they're trying to relate.
Yeah, right? They're trying to make that instant connection without really thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
But so for example, like one of the best questions that I've been asked, it was at a wedding, and I think the guy asking me was like a Hollywood video effects editor. I think he worked on like a Tom Cruise movie, The Edge of Tomorrow, right? Oh. And he asked me a really, really good question. He was saying how because he creates stuff from nothing, like he has to draw it. He was asking me if, as a photographer, I felt like I was capturing art rather than creating it. Mm-hmm. And I literally ended up talking to this guy for like 30 minutes, like during the dinner when we were all just like, there was downtime.
Yeah.
And like I still remember this question to this day because it was actually an insightful question. Like I could tell the guy really wanted to know my answer. Mm-hmm. And like it's also really insightful because I do feel as a photographer like I'm not creating something from scratch, right? Like a photographer is kind of looking for beauty in the world, and they're trying to show people what they see, the
like what it could be.
Yeah. Like I see this beauty and I want to show you what I see.
Yes.
That's what a photographer is trying to do.
Yeah.
So I'm not creating something from nothing. The beauty's already there and I'm capturing it. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
I can relate to that because I also dabble a little bit in like nature scenery photography. Yeah. And like sometimes like it's like I see something and I'm like I really want to bring it out. Mm-hmm. It's like I know if I like tune the colors a bit, move things around, like this could be amazing.
Exactly. And like artists though, like people who can draw, I'm always jealous of because they can literally manifest what's in their head.
Yeah.
And turn it into reality on paper.
Exactly.
That's I would love that skill. Mm-hmm. But I can't draw for shit.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it is also like a very deep skill to learn too. Like learning curve is pretty far.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But no, like it goes back to my just like my personal ethos. Like every time I leave my house, I feel like, why would I not want to reach out to people, right? Like the worst thing that can happen is they don't want to talk to me. But if I don't talk to them, then there's no difference.
Yeah.
We just walk away and, I don't meet somebody, right? But like that person that I meet, like could introduce me to the love of my life. Mm-hmm. That person could be my real estate agent for my next property that I buy or sell. Mm-hmm. That person could be a chef at a restaurant that I've always wanted to try.
Yeah.
Like you don't know unless you go out and say hi, right? Yeah. Also, like worst case too, like maybe you don't connect with that person, but maybe that person invites you to a house party.
And you connect with someone there.
And you connect with someone. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like in my 20s, I would literally host house parties and tell my friends that to come, they'd have to bring at least one person that I don't know. Mm-hmm. And so if I invite 10 people, they're bringing 10 people that none of us know. And then those 10 people join our group. And maybe those 10 people meet my 10 friends.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Like I literally had a house party where my friend met his fiance. At that party.
Okay.
I caught them making out in my laundry room. Like no joke. Like to this day, now they have a kid. They've been married for like, I don't know, 8 years. Like they met at my house party because I had told them to bring somebody, at least one person that I didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just bringing people together since time immemorial.
Yeah, so like I'm a little bit older than Ivan. I'm definitely a millennial. I never use dating apps.
Yeah.
I've never been on Tinder. I've never been on Bumble. I've never been on any of that stuff. And in my opinion,
it's probably better not to be on those.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I'm speaking from my own experience.
I don't want to comment on that, but I do know that I still prefer meeting people in real life. I feel like there's 100%. More focus on chemistry rather than like a resume.
Yeah.
Like I almost feel like apps. The problem is that like
you're giving a stat sheet for someone. Right?
Yeah, like it's almost like a CV.
Yeah.
You know, it's like does the bio make me laugh? Is it interesting? Yeah. Does the photo like capture my personality?
Exactly. I don't know. Right. But but people are complex creatures. Like we are so much more than that.
And bro, like in real life, nobody meets people like that.
Yeah.
In real life, it's all about chemistry.
Yeah, you just like go to talk to someone. And it's like, oh man, this guy's cool.
Exactly.
And then that's it. Like you can't capture cool in like a photo. You can't capture cool in a sentence, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. And I think one thing to go back to, because I know we just went. I love this. Is that I think for me, I don't know if you guys can relate over here, but like for the longest time, I just couldn't talk to like new people. Even after like say I go climbing a lot, and usually people do a problem. Maybe they can't do it. Maybe they do it, and you're like, man, the best line to enter is, hey man, how'd you do that? Can you show me?
That's right? Like at a climbing gym, I feel like it's just so easy to meet people because like you're all doing the same problem. And like asking each other for beta and stuff, like it's just the easiest way.
Beta's like just like the route to solve it for the lingo.
Oh sorry. Like the beta literally means like how to like the sequence of steps to
like
solve.
What's my pathing basically?
To climb a problem. Yeah.
But like for me, for the longest time, like I know Ed was saying like, oh, you know, like the worst thing that could happen is like, oh, you know, nothing happens. You know, you don't hit it off. But I think for people who can relate to me, it's like in your head you're thinking like some like nightmare scenario happens where they like cuss you out, or like they say other things about you, or they're just like, yo, I don't want to talk to you, or whatever. But like the thing is, that scenario literally never happens. I can tell you from experience right now, like thanks to Ed, I have been approaching more people and like just talking to them, just be like, hey, what's up, like what's your name, I don't like, do you climb here often, you know? And I realized like, damn, it's just that simple, right? Like I know I'm saying it's just that simple, but like once you go out there and you get acclimatized to doing it, it really is that simple. Yeah, I think having friends helps a lot too, like at the place, because it helps you give you that energy.
Have you ever heard this concept, social proof?
Oh, maybe.
Social proof. Okay, so there's that famous story. I don't know if you heard. It was this violinist with a $1 million Stradivarius violin. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's like world renowned. And they did a social experiment where he was to perform at Grand Central Station in like New York City for an hour, and he literally gave the same performance that he would charge like thousands of dollars for. But in the hour that he performed in the subway, I think he only made something like $13 or something.
Wow.
Okay? Like, because nobody knew who the hell he was.
Exactly.
But then like something about like how the next time like he performed and they like hired a crowd or something to like watch him, and like he got the biggest crowd ever. Like I think like reporters eventually noticed, and they did a whole like news thing on this.
Wow.
And it shows people like the idea that like when you're busy and you're unfocused, you can't even like recognize the talent in front of you because other people pass him by or pass that talent by. But like if somebody is like telling you like, hey,
look at
this guy's famous, so like having friends in your group makes it that much easier to meet other people too, because those strangers see that you're with friends and they're
not
feel
like
more
scared of like
like you're not creepy.
You're not like some rando
because you're vetted by another person. It's why married guys say that they get more attention from women when they wear their wedding ring. Because women see the wedding ring and think to themselves, well, if he's good enough for another woman, he's probably not a serial killer. He's probably not a creepy guy. I'm going to trust him more because another woman has already pre-vetted him. That's the idea of social proof.
Yeah.
And I think it's very powerful.
It is. And I think there's one other thing I'd like to add to that. It's also like there's a lot of momentum to it too, where it's like the more you do something, like the more you want to do that thing, right? So like the more you stay quiet and by yourself at the climbing gym, the more that happens. Versus like the more you like chat with other people, like it gets your conversational energy flowing, right? And then you're more willing to talk to other people too.
That reminds me of like the concept of like creating your own luck.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of people who think they're unlucky, and then when you actually look at how they live their life, they just, after work they go home
and they just hunker down,
and they say no to everything.
Yeah.
And when you break it down, it's like, of course they're unlucky because they're literally not putting themselves in a place where they have opportunity.
Yeah, they're shutting off all opportunity.
And when you look at people who think they're lucky, you realize that they're just saying yes to everything. When their friend drags them out to a concert, they say yes. When their buddies are like, "Yo, let's just try something new," they say yes. And they put themselves in a position where stuff can happen to them. And I think that's really powerful. I remember a story of when I was in college. I went to McGill, okay? And I was feeling really, I don't know, like, I guess, like, lonely, and I didn't really want to go out. But my friend dragged me out to dinner, and we were sitting next to a group of middle-aged ladies. And I think, no joke, I think I was teaching my friend about the cube. And these two ladies overheard my conversation, and they thought it was like super fun. And they told me later, like, I didn't know they were eavesdropping at the time, but after they got up and paid their bill, they came over to us and said, like, "Hey, that was one of the most interesting conversations I've ever heard." And they gave me U2 concert tickets. They said, "We can't make it tonight. We actually have to go back to like America or something, wherever they were from." And they gave me and my friend U2 tickets.
Wow.
They were valued at like $280.
Damn.
And that night we just went to the concert.
Wow. Okay.
And I almost stayed home that day. I wasn't feeling outgoing at all. And just because I put myself in that, like,
that position,
right? That's a true fucking story. Like,
yeah. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
That's an amazing experience. Yeah. And that just goes to show like what happens when you just say yes to the things, especially the things that like might like scare you or even like push you out of like what you want to do, like your comfort area, your comfort zone, because you were really comfortable staying at home, right, that night.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think every single one of us, wants to just, go into bed, eat popcorn, and like watch Netflix or something. You know what I mean?
Right?
Like, that's the easy, comfortable way to live your life.
Yeah.
But nothing good is gonna happen when you do that every day. And I think that has a big impact on how you look at life. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing me and Ivan were talking about before this was like, have you ever remembered times in your life where like you're at a fork and you could have turned left, you could have turned right, and because you did it, like, it changed your life?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, for myself, I would say for those of you guys who are still here and watching and are my subscribers, you will know, like, this could literally not have like this might have not even happened, because there's a time when I was debating on starting a YouTube channel, and I was like, should I do it? Should I not do it? And I'll be honest, I only started because one of my friends was like, hey, why not? Just try it. And now, like 2 years later, here I am with like 5,000 subscribers and counting, right? And I would say it has completely changed my life. And I think like going into it, it was like I wanted to do it, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, I would say this is like one of the less scary forks, I would say, because there was like a lot of momentum to want to try.
Do you remember the exact moment though that you made the decision and you pulled the trigger?
Yeah, it was like after I asked my friend, like literally I sent her a message on Facebook. We were chatting and I was like, yeah, I feel like I should just start a YouTube channel. And then she was like, yeah, go ahead, just do it. And I was just like, bam, there it is, let's do it. And I just hopped on into my game and I just cranked out like 14 videos, and I was like, a video every day and let's go. And then once I felt my channel was populated a little bit, I didn't care. I only had like, dude, when I first started off, I only had like 20 views per video, right? If at that, like that was a lot, already. And I think I remember it was like, so I started in February 2020, like right when COVID started. I remember in around like March, April, I had one video that got 100 views, and I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. But right now my videos like get like on average 1,000 to 2,000 views a day.
Yeah, no,
and
that's amazing.
I would not have been able to imagine that. Like at that point, if future self, this me, went back and told that me that this is what will happen, I would not have believed it. Right. So yeah, like I think that was one of the big forks.
Okay, so like you claim to be this guy that like, I don't know, struggled to like talk to strangers and meet people, but like your online persona to me says otherwise. Like how come you're so comfortable, I don't know, like putting yourself out there on the internet, but like in real life you don't feel the same way?
I think
like that for me is hard to reconcile. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the truth is like the internet's a little different in the sense that like I am there, but like I don't have to like fully put myself out there. Like my voice is there, my personality is there, but like I am not physically there. And it's like I'm also, while I'm making videos for you guys, right, I like my physical, like my interactions with you guys are limited to like maybe the comments, like maybe we like hang on to the Discord a little bit, but you guys, everyone who's like still subscribed, right, like they know that like I barely make appearances in Discord, and when I do, it's like a huge thing, right? So like in a way it's almost kind of like this like one-way street sometimes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What you mean.
So it was less scary for me at that time. But like I think I've always, I know that the potential for me to be more outgoing is there because I'm comfortable with doing this like on the internet. But like it's just like the internet takes away all of the risk associated with things, right? Like you wouldn't catch people like saying the things they said on the internet if their face was attached to it and like they had to physically say those words out of their mouth. Like guarantee like 80% of the things that are said on the internet would not be said.
So like is it the anonymity that like protects you in a way?
In a way, it's like because like it's like all you hear is my voice and like and like.
But see, but in real life, you also choose what to tell the person you're talking to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
right.
Yeah.
I think it's more like the anonymity makes me more outgoing versus like in person. Like I feel this sort of pressure to be a certain way more versus like online. It's like there's less constraints in that. I think in a way, like perhaps it's also like my own judgments of myself too. Like, cause before, like I used to be like this super large kid, like super fat kid, right? And so I feel like that idea still needs time to like move on, right? Because it's stuck with me as my identity for like, man, I would say like 25 years now, 24 years, right? And like that's like almost like that's like 90% of my life, right? 95% of my life. So that's something that needs time to like process, right? So I think for the most part it's still kind of like that, even though I don't look anything like that anymore.
See, one thing that made a huge impact on me in my 20s was like some guy, I don't remember who, but told me like people when they go to a party they think everybody's judging them, but really everybody is just trying not to make a fool out of themselves. Like they're all trying to come off as cool. Like they're all thinking about themselves. But everybody goes to a party thinking like, oh my God, everybody's going to judge me. I have to be cool. I have to do this. I have to do that. But literally everybody is thinking the same thing. And they're all thinking like, I need to make sure that I don't come off, make an ass out of myself.
Yeah.
And like when I heard that, like it changed everything. Like there was no pressure anymore.
Yeah, it's like you got to take the magnifying glass off yourself. That's what I've read something like that.
Because everybody at the end of the day is thinking about themselves, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's the reality, right? Like like you perceive the world from your perspective, so like it just makes sense that you think about yourself. Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like it totally makes sense. I think for the longest time I held that view too. I think I read like so many like self-help books about this stuff where it's like just do it, just do this, do that. And I feel like while the theory is there, there also needs to be the practice, like to try it out, right? It's like you can read anything you like, but if you don't take action, nothing happens. And like the steps of taking action sometimes can be hard, right? Like that's like the motion of putting yourself out there. But I feel like everything that I've learned, I think is coming to fruition after I met like my group of climbing friends, because it's like it has like I think people really help with the momentum of your growth. Because like if they encourage you, right? Like it like I'll be honest. Like when I first started climbing, like I was like I think before I met you guys, like Ed and everyone else, like I was sort of just like stuck at like this certain level. Like I would say like a little bit better than beginner level. But as soon as I met you guys, like I just like climbed at least like one level higher. Just because from the encouragement that everyone was there, you know.
I think, I mean, that's all peer pressure, honestly.
Like some of it's peer pressure, but I feel like some of it's also inspiration.
Yeah,
it's like people got you, right?
Yeah,
you got that like support.
Sure.
You know, they're rooting for you, and I think that's huge.
Yo, by the way, if anybody's listening that lives near Markham Hub, you guys should come out and meet us.
Yeah, hit us up. Like we're cool.
We're there every Wednesday and Sunday, right?
Yeah, Wednesday, Sunday. Sometimes we try Fridays.
Sometimes Fridays.
Yeah. So hit us up. Like come and say hi. We're there like in the evenings.
Yeah, we're there from like 8 to 11.
Yeah,
we
don't bite.
Yeah, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Yeah. And yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So do you think this is a good time to wrap up, or what do you think?
I think so. How long has it been?
It's been a good 40 minutes now. We've been
oh
going
shit!
For it. Yeah.
Wow, that definitely didn't feel like 40 minutes.
Hey, honestly, this is a beautiful pilot episode. If you guys enjoy what you've heard so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we're going to be coming out with more of these conversation series. I think we still have a few planned.
I have way more like these little conversation starters too. If you guys are interested. If you guys want to hear more about that, like literally tested, proven to work in the last 10 years of my life, like bangers,
guys, bangers. Okay, so yeah, leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe drop a comment on the most memorable part of this video, or maybe even let us know like some things that like have been helpful for you guys in the comment section down below. Share this with a friend who you think would really like to hear this kind of content or really benefit from it. I don't know, man. And yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.
Thank you for having me, dude. Yeah. See ya.